Previously, we've done many case studies who are finance expert, starting from income tax commissioner, a CA and auditor working with the big four, bankers in Dubai. This time, it's a different kind of a case study. Ask me why. That means when he started to work, when he started to get into his profession as a banker, we started his portfolio. Gradually, the portfolio has been grown over a period. The challenge faced was that in 2013, he moved on with us and started his association for investments with one of his friends who used to work with bank. Now the best part is after 7 years, in 2020, he came back with us for good. Let's see what are the experiences with Amit Singhal and NRI in Muscat and what advice he has to give other investors associating with Wealth Munshi. Please share a brief profile about yourself.
I am Amit Singhal. I belong to a small city in North India. As of now, I am residing in Muscat in Oman. I have a qualification in finance and I work with banks.
Since how long you been associated with Wealth Munshi?
Around 2007-2008.
What made you buy your first investment with Wealth Munshi?
Was first about understanding us or me as a person, understanding my background, my ambitions, aspirations, my lifestyle, and what I want to do, and what I earn, and what do I do with that earning. And I think that is what really stuck.
What changes have you noticed since last 1 decade you've been associated?
I started with one person, and today you have a huge team. The most credible part and the fantastic thing about it is that every individual associated with Wealth Munshi as an employee or as a staff is as trustworthy. All digital mechanisms to the best that they can be utilized when it comes to managing the portfolio. You have your own app. You have not left any media platform unturned to utilize the benefit of your partners and customers. See, that's the strength, I would say, of our association, that when it comes to dealing with Wealth Munshi, we don't really have to worry. And the first experience I'll tell you, which still stays with me, is one of our investments which I wanted to divest. I'd moved to Muscat, I wanted some money, I was in urgent need of money. And I was in Hyderabad for less than 24 hours. And I wanted to get that money with me because it was urgent. And I know these things are not simple. It was a unit which really takes a long time when it comes to this investment. There is no money out. But your team and you were fantastic. In less than 24 hours before I boarded the flight, I had everything that I needed. And I think that is what boosted my confidence that whatever I'm doing is right. Because most of the times, your portfolios can grow. Your investments can be fantastic. But the trouble that most of the people I've seen face is when they need that money. But when it comes to accessing that money, it can be a nightmare for most of the investors. But in this case, it didn't. Then again, I had a small trouble with another return that had to come. I thought that let me handle it at my own, this will work out. And then I just gave a call to your team, and it was less than 24 hours. Again, the entire thing was sorted out. So I think it's experiences like those, apart from the fact that you have been managing the portfolio really well, the portfolio is growing. It's experiences like these when the investors feel the true essence of a relationship.
Does Wealth Munshi provide end-to-end solutions digitally?
Oh yes, through digital capabilities which are in a way sufficient end-to-end at their own. To substantiate them substantially with your experience as well. But I think in terms, right from the beginning of creating your own profile, your financial profile, your personal profile, using that risk assessment to then prescribe what are the best investments that one should make in short, medium and long term. And then tracking your investments on a daily basis, on a regular basis, on a real-time basis, I think. And then again, any service request, any request to divest your investments, way of money, I think everything is there. You don't leave any stone unturned when it comes to keeping in touch with your investors.
What was the best experience you've had with Wealth Munshi?
Needs a lot of patience to understand the investors properly. The approach, as we said, is very, very methodical association. There's no bias, there's no element of subjectivity. It's very, very objectively laid out. As an investor and as your team member, both are very, very clear and it's transparent to both as to what other questions or the parameters on which you are trying to assess the capabilities of the investors. See, I can be one of the best examples. I am not in India, I am not in Hyderabad, so you are there. And we have been doing all our interactions, all our investments online. I factor on a daily basis. I speak to you guys on a weekly basis. It's a fantastic.
What was the most unique feature of Wealth Munshi?
So, Rafi, I would say the report and your approach, put together is far more detailed. Looking at the reports that comes from Wealth Munshi, you really get to understand what we are doing with the money that we earn and what we should be doing. So it looks at all the aspects of it.
What is the USP of Wealth Munshi?
Their approach to understand the investors as individuals and as not a group of people to whom you can back with certain product. That's where I think it starts.
What do you think that differentiates Wealth Munshi?
It is not about commission. It's not about selling the product. It's about financial management for an individual which is personalized to your lifestyle, to your goals, to your needs, and to your incomes. And I think that's the most unique, and that's a thing that differentiates you from the rest of your competitors. We take an end-to-end view of an individual. It's a consolidation of all our needs under one roof. Be it insurance, be it investments, not only mutual funds, equity, gold, or whatever, be it real estate. You are one-stop shop.
Any eye-opener you have had in associating with Wealth Munshi?
So we all have ambitions, we all have goals, but most of the time those ambitions and those goals are not aligned to what we do with our money. That perspective, I think the most important thing that I have learned from Wealth Munshi is to have a perspective of your life and its alignment with how you manage your finance. What was the key eye-opener for me, hidden in your approach, in your report, in your analysis, that what am I supposed to do? I am associated with Wealth Munshi. Any unfortunate event happens, there's someone to look after my family, my investments.
What are the recommendations on your portfolio by our team?
The approach which your team takes is understand our goals. If our goals are short term, medium term, or long term, the products are then aligned to these durations.
What do you think are the core values of Wealth Munshi?
Because we are able to establish that trust. We have been associated for more than a decade. And if I have to do anything to do with my finances, I would rather trust no one than you and your team. You bring in perspectives, you bring in research, backed punctuality, the way your team communicates, ethics, etiquette. I think everything, something which adds up to building that trust and relationship with the investors.
Anything which should not be happy about our association?
Extremely happy, satisfied with this. And I keep telling everyone, I think this is the kind of association which everyone should have. They really want to feel safe financially. So in the turbulent times when the financial markets are all over the place, you don't know which direction they are going to go. There's a team of experts who's sitting and managing your money.
Where would you like to see our association 10 years from now?
This is not something which is a short trip, 2, 3, 4 years, where your investments are done. It was a 5-year investment is done, so okay, tata, goodbye. That's not the kind of relationship that we have built with us. I think every individual should have an association like that.
If you have to give an advice to new investors,
because you guys are wonderful at what you do, all I need to tell them, have a open-minded conversation.
If you have to rate us from 1 to 5, 5 being excellent, where would you like to rate us?
I'm saying excellent. I mean, there's no question about it.
Guys, please don't forget to subscribe on the channel of Wealth Munshi. Click on the bell icon and get the latest updates.
आपका पैसा हमारा भरोसा।